Get that Glock Cam Newton, you catch a hot one. And for the fam, I keep shooting until the cops come. Reload, double back. Hold up, cuz I got one. Official one in respect.
Yep. Do Work Radio Live, and we back. And if VP don't trust you, I'ma shoot you. I'm Meka Swain.
Awesome.
I'm here with Aaron Jamel. Awesome. I got VP and Mr. West is engineering. What up? We're going to get back to this interview with Aaron Jamel because the shit is dope. And VP, what's good? Say what's up.
Well, I just want Aaron to give his information one more time, how you can reach him, how you can reach TAP, and things of that nature. Please lay it on us.
Definitely. If you want to go on Instagram, type in TAP Charleston, TAPCHARLESTON, Charleston. And then for my personal page, it's Aaron Captures, AARONCAPTURES.
There you go.
And then Facebook, we're Terrence Antonio, and then Aaron Jamel on Facebook. Looking forward to seeing y'all guys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Gals.
You already know. I'm very glad that you were able to do this interview with us.
It was fun.
I wasn't able to say, but I first met Aaron at a Black Lives Matter conference type thing. Yeah, definitely. We were invited out. I was invited out earlier that day by one of the leaders of it, and I just remember sitting out. We actually broke out into small groups.
Yep.
We were in the small group together, like talking about what we could do and things of that nature.
Groups like classroom or something?
Yeah, like I actually suggested it. Like this was my first time there.
Killed it though.
This was my first time there, and I just came in. This wasn't even my meeting, and I said, hey, can we break into small groups?
You sure it wasn't your meeting?
It wasn't. It seemed like it though. It wasn't. It wasn't my meeting though. It was not my meeting. But the small groups worked. So
that's cool.
Good job.
Dope.
So thank you once again, Aaron, and we're gonna go into our next conversation. I want you to speak on it, especially because you were at that meeting that particular day, and you just know there are some other things going on in Charleston that it's kind of perplexing to me. We keep getting number one city in America. Here recently, it was Travel and Leisure. And I actually already have an article about Charleston being number one, and I never want to be misconstrued. I love Charleston. I really do love Charleston. I decided to stay here after I went to school, and everything about the city, I love it.
I love the weather.
The weather is beautiful. The scenery is beautiful. The landscape is just amazing. Like you can cross the bridge and you look over that water and it's sparkling and it's just beautiful.
Yeah,
like it's
Charleston Harbor's dope.
It's dope. But I also like fair representation, and I have a campaign or just a series of articles called Number One to Who. And the idea behind this is who's voting Charleston number one? Because I'm trying to look around at all the people who look like me or the people in my age group, the people that follow my demographic, and I don't think we're really voting Charleston number one.
And we did a little research.
Now, there's something called a what's it called? A press package or like a media kit. It's called a media kit. Every single magazine has a media kit. Okay, if you go to your favorite Complex magazine or something like that, go to their, like, type in Complex and type in media kit, and you will get all their demographics. You'll know who reads it, how old they are, things of that nature. So I did the same thing for Condé Nast, the primary magazine that voted Charleston number one, because I said, well, who are the readers? Because whoever the readers are going to lead to who's voting Charleston number one. Well, if you look at Condé Nast demographics, majority of their readers are between the ages of 55 and 65, I believe. Majority of them have went to college, graduated from college, may have even done higher level education after college. They're in that retirement phase. I work on Market Street,
but also though is who did that magazine gear their imagery to?
But yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Who reads
exactly.
that magazine?
Who reads that magazine?
And because there's 4 billion people in the world, so the age group of the demographic doesn't necessarily single those people out entirely, like the microscopic view.
It does when you get into if they went to college and how much money they make and if they're close enough to retirement. Those types of things start narrowing it down even more. Because, and when I saw that, and once again, being a worker on Market Street, which is the hub of like the tourist area, like the cruise ships come off right onto Market Street, the carriage rides are on Market Street, the tours are on Market Street, so people come to the market to really experience Charleston, what they think is like Charleston. And these people are normally older Caucasian people who come in and say, oh, I love Charleston, we're actually moving here next month. I've had so many older white couples say that, like come into the shop and say those kinds of things. And those are the people that are voting Charleston number one. So the reason why I say number one to who is because the reason why that's relevant to someone that matches my demographic is because we live here. And while we live here, there are different political moves that are happening in the city in which you live to make room for those who are starting to move in. Like when you talk about gentrification, that all has to do with number one to who. Like that has to do with who is voting Charleston number one and who's coming to live here. Because then all the houses that are being bought up, the gentrification that's happening in neighborhoods, those houses are going to be sold to the people that are coming down to live here from Wisconsin and Minnesota and the north, like from Cleveland. Like these are the people that are buying those types of houses. So we, instead of like, we talk about social media so much in terms of the influence that social media has on how we process information, and it really creates just misinformation, like a fleet of people with all of this misinformation and the inability to do extra research. Like it does not promote you doing extra research because people share the link and be like, oh yeah, we're number one again. No, we are not number one again because this wasn't about us. Okay, this was about the money that's being put into Charleston. And this is something that y'all do know that before the 80s, like I'll just mark the 80s, but before the 80s, Charleston was not a city that people were trying to live in. It was kind of jacked. So people weren't really excited about Charleston. That was only like 30 years ago. 30 to 35 years ago. That's not a long time. Like, so in such a short time period, Charleston has done some huge steps, like huge changes. I'm telling you, it was just that moment for them to turn around and be like, okay, now we can just kind of start from scratch. This is what we want to do, and this is what we want to create.
One thing I think though is because a lot of us, a lot of people of the young generation, we really don't know our history. So like, if we don't really know our history, we can't really change it. So when you say that it wasn't a short time period, it was not a short time period. In that 30 years is not short.
That's right.
But what I think it is, like, with the social media, with the way technology has been going, it has distracted us from that a little bit. And plus, the people that write the books are not going to put all that in that.
Of course. I really like that. I like that you mentioned that. A lot of people who live here haven't even taken these steps to really know the history of, especially downtown Charleston.
Oh, yeah. And
just Charleston in general. But, I mean, Joe Riley was mayor for, 40 years?
Something like that.
How is that okay?
Half a century.
He was.
That's good old boy system if you ever existed.
If there's any question about, give me an example of the good old boy system, here's Joe Riley. He was mayor for almost 40 years.
But my gripe with the number one to who, and I wholeheartedly stand behind that conversation, is that I like to spend my dollar with people who look like me. And that I'm not being a racist by saying that. I'm not being wrong by saying that. You feel me? I mean, some people may say that's ugly, but so what? You know what I mean? I like.
What's the problem?
It's
People
not wrong.
do it. Jews
Chinese
do it all
people
the time.
do it. Jewish people do it. You know why?
We're the only ones who
Why is it wrong when it comes to black folk?
White people do it.
You know what I mean? So I know I'm not smearing the black-owned restaurants around here. I'm aware of like 2 or 3.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I like to go out on the town. You know what I mean? I like to experience things. I love food. I love culture. I love to dance. I love music. So I'm going to go out on the town. It's just that I think that our job is to take advantage of these things. Take advantage of the influx of popularity to your town. Take advantage of the cruise ships of number one in tourism. You know what I mean? So we just need to take advantage. That's what I would like to see. And I know that when I go out in Charleston right now, I don't see that. So I'm thinking, number one, who? Like, who voted this?
Right. And what I like about what you're saying is also my primary gripe as well. I want diversity. And I've written this in one of the articles that there's a lack of diversity in entertainment. And I'm not mad at the voters, and I'm not mad at the magazine. There are some people whose take on this is that, they're actually tired of being called number one because they're tired of new people coming in, like pretty much these out-of-state people coming in and living here. But my biggest thing is I want that diversity, because when I say number one to who, what I'm trying to get at is here I am as, woman of color, young woman of color, and just like Meka said, I want to be in places where people look like me as well. Like, I don't want to be whitewashed. Charleston right now just seems to really be whitewashed, and I'm talking about any culture. Like, I'm not even just talking about the black community, but there's a lack of diversity in entertainment. I can't tell you how many times I and a lot of my peers who are in the event planning arena have been denied because we simply say we're going to play hip hop. Completely denied. Not even asked about like what's going to be played or the type
what
of
you're
people.
gonna play.
Like, they refuse to believe that people who dress nicely or don't dress with like pants down to here and all this other kind of stuff listen to hip hop. They do. I mean, what are you talking about? They
the
do
politics
listen to,
of it, man. It's politics.
So
of it.
I don't like that.
What they know about hip hop.
That's right.
What are they looking at themselves?
That's
but
right.
Also on our side, what are we portraying to them?
Yeah, and I think another thing that would make a difference. We see it from time to time, but when we go out to King Street, say it's King Street, and you look around and you're trying to find a lot of people that look like you on King Street, and then who look like you and are actually being good participants in the nightlife, like pay the money, tip the bartender,
right, tip.
like do things like that. Because another thing that boils down to is, where are you investing your money into?
Right.
Are you leaving the tip? Because
more than just a barbershop now. We gotta go more than a barbershop.
That's real. If you're gonna go and infiltrate like King Street, and enough people, because it's also about money as well. If enough people come into an establishment and they're not feeling, who does this? The homosexual community, the LGBTQ community. I'm serious.
What's the Q for?
We're about to get it. Get prepared. Let me get some gunshots.
No. This is serious. This is serious because they work together as a community. They will literally plan nights where they all go to an establishment, and it's all of that community in that establishment. Right. And what they're showing is they have a working dollar.
Yeah,
they're
gonna
dollar.
Put their money, and if they want to take their dollar away from you,
and what they'll do is they'll take 100 people or more, all infiltrate a club, and then after they're done, all of them will leave. So then you're like, holy crap, they were bringing money just now. Like, so
listen,
that's the same kind of thing that when it comes to our communities and we're trying to make a statement, you're trying to be like, well, I want more music that's going to appeal to me. If all of y'all get together, go out there, invest, and then be like, man, this party isn't really what I'm feeling, and all of a sudden you make half of the club go.
Power in numbers. Power in numbers.
And that's what they do.
Yeah.
This is like back in history time when we used to do boycott. Like when you got on the buses, it wasn't just because we needed a ride. No, we were messing with the higher people
establishment.
Money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And that's one thing that I think kind of got erased over the years.
Understanding your importance,
consumerism,
the importance of your wallet. Yeah, definitely. So those are the points that I like to consider when it comes to how strong is the community itself. It's got on a smaller scale. When we did our artwork, we did artwork last September, last October as well. Yep. Both times we took
at least 20 to 30 people.
Like
with us.
We had enough people to take out what was it like? Afterwards, afterwards, we had enough people to fill up an entire like back portion of like a VIP section. Yeah, and they were tipping well. They were engaging.
Buying
they were having a great time.
Club owners love us.
We made such an impression that when we left, you could feel that there was a void there because we brought people. Yeah. And then after that, we have even more love from the club owners because it's like, oh well, the more that you bring people. I had an event there, a very small event. And I brought at least 15 people there. Mm-hmm. That stuff matters. And then your people come, they look good, okay? They look put together. Right. They acting right. You know what I'm saying? Like they're having a good time. Mm-hmm. People will buy.
That's right. That's where it gets to it. That's where it gets to it. Circulate the money. Right. Circulate the money, and you're investing your time, your effort, your resources into establishments of like-minded people. That's right. That's how we build the thing up. It's like we can go right. We can go in DC, and we can spend a whole day and spend our money with like-minded people. And like totally, if we don't want to rock with someone else, we don't have to see them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You could do that in Harlem. You know what I mean? So we should be able to do that in Charleston. If we can think it, we can do it.
Into, like you said, the circling of the money.
Right, circulate that dollar.
The mental too.
That's right.
You know,
that's right. That's right.
Aware, like,
the mentality. That's right. That's right. Well, we got to do it, man. Yes,
sir.
I
really, these kind of conversations are important to me because I like to plan events. I love planning events because I love bringing people from the community that I'm within. I love bringing them out, and I love for them to show their best at this point. We work so hard, and this is something that Do Work Media strives to convey to people, is that we're in a generation, we're in an age, we're in a time where we have to work all of the time. And when it comes to the time to reward yourself, you should be able to reward yourself after all this hard work that you've been putting in, whether it's once a month, whether it's like twice a month or whatever. You should always be rewarding yourself. And that's something that I think, honestly, every 2 weeks or so, you should really be rewarding yourself with something. And that's why our art shows were always like were once a month. Because even if you worked all month, you knew that this one day it was time to turn up because you deserved it.
And then also it'll come back to you.
Exactly.
It cycles back to you.
Exactly. But we have to, that's why I say support is love. If you support your community as an event planner, if I support my community by creating an environment that they can come and relax, I'm supporting my community. And that support is love. I love my community. The community, in turn, shows support to me and shows love to me by showing up to the events. Yep. So those are the kinds of things that are important when it comes to supporting each other, showing up, just showing love from time to time is very, very important for our success.
We have an upcoming business venture coming up where we'll be able to cycle these parties towards different events. Mm-hmm. And that's what I can say about it right now, but it's coming soon. And we're going to do our part, definitely. We like to do work. That's why we call our business Do Work. And we will be very much intertwined in the community with this. So.
Oh yeah, awesome. Definitely. That's how we do it here at Do Work Media. Shout out to AG for tuning in. He's been giving Do Work Media some showing some love on Twitter. Appreciate you. If anybody has any comments to make about number one to who, 843-639-4434. That's the number to call in and give us your thoughts on it. This is a very dear subject to me, and I'll be posting my articles up on doworkmedia.com so that you can share them, read them, things like that.
Right on.
Actually, what we'll do is we're going to go into a short break, very short break, and then we'll come back and get right back at it.
Before we go into a short break, can I drop some more BS real quick about the music biz we like to keep up with?
Go ahead, yeah.
Young Thug, who we like to keep up with, will be
spit this, please.
scrapping Slime Season 3. It will not be coming out. That was a project that his fans asked about numerously. So that's something.
Oh, yeah, we definitely have to
the
talk about
project
that
that
later
his
on.
fans want, they will not be getting. Instead, they got I'm Up, a project that it's obviously that the record label put that together. The music sounds safe. It's really not that slimy Young Thug that we look for. Slime Season 3 was scrapped. It's not coming out. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on our Facebook, Twitter, any of that good stuff. Do Work Radio Live. We'll be back.
Do Work Radio
Live.
She hopping out the whip like Trey when she see the young players stunning hard at the red light. And I be pulling out the chopper, got you wide open like a dead quarter headlight. Who the f to stop us? They calling up the cops. They calling up the shooters.